Hello, and welcome to Valheim Hardcore Permadeath. I wanted to try a run that's just insanely difficult. I'm going to put the world modifiers up on the screen, but it's basically hardcore and immersive, where you have very hard combat, hardcore death penalty. I mean, it's permadeath. But normal resource rate, much more raids, no portals, no map, and it's going to be fun. I don't plan on lasting very long, but if this is something people are interested in, I will do multiple runs. But I wanted to see how far I could get trying to do a hardcore permadeath run. So here we go. To start the series, I am going to be using one cheat code, and that is going to be to raise all my skills to 100. This is to help see if I can survive. Because I again, don't expect to survive that long. And I don't want to have to start the run by training my bow skills up to level 90 and spend 4 hours in a crypt to do that. So I'm just going to start off everything at level 100 because I think that'll also be interesting. That provides a lot of interesting options in the future to try to survive. The first part of the run is going to be pretty standard and boring, hopefully, and that I'm just going to be running around killing boars and railings and getting wood and stone and flint. Actually, I am not near any water right now and I can't see any, so that part is really annoying because I don't want to run off to try to find water and not be able to find my way back here right now. So the first part of the run is actually going to be just running around, not collecting flint, but collecting, leather scraps, deer hide, and stuff like that. It is pretty interesting trying to hunt deer with 100 sneak, because you should be able to sneak around pretty well without them seeing you, but even with 100 sneak, this deer still sees me pretty easily. But with 100 run and jump, I can chase after it pretty well, get some hits on it, because I run a lot faster and I use a lot less stamina when I do that. So I'm going to try to chase this deer down, but it takes a minute still. Found a little house to do some crafting in, and one of the first things that I'm going to craft with a workbench is a hoe so I can make some pathing. So when I'm going to find Eikthyr and when I eventually need to go try to find water, I'm going to use a hoe to try to mark some paths along the way so I don't get lost. Here I make a surprisingly big jump, and that took away half my health, so that's something I'm going to have to be careful about with level 100 jump, is jumping so high that you can't land without dying. It's kind of surprising. I'm cooking up some meat and resting while I do it. Try to be efficient, but so I can get a little bit better food, just so a boar or a grayling or something doesn't knock me out, because they do a little bit of damage. So doing that, getting rested. I got enough leather to make a crude bow, which is incredibly helpful when you have high bow skills. So that's gonna be used quite a bit for the first part of the run. Taking down the structure, getting all the wood so I can make some arrows so I don't run out. Picking up some mushrooms. And here I'm gonna head out to try to find Eikthyr. So for anybody who doesn't know, if you're playing with no map, the Vegvasirs will still point you in the direction of a boss. So you can kind of just follow along with the direction it points you. And so now I'm heading off to try to find Eikthyr, just heading in this general direction and hoeing as I go. So I'll have a path to follow to come back. I run into a bunch of boar here, which is nice, obviously, for the leather. But I also run into a 2-star boar, which normally would probably be quite a bit of concern on very hard combat. But the bow is incredible, again, at taking this stuff out. I followed this pathing over to a pretty big open area in the meadows, and I found Eikthyr pretty easily. But I'm not getting any deer trophies at this point, which is really annoying. I've killed a few deer. I have 4 deer meat. I guess maybe that means I killed 2. But I haven't gotten any trophies yet. And I haven't been able to kill a lot because I just got the bow when I started heading over here. So next step will be to get some trophies. I do make sure to get some sleep when it starts getting dark out. So I'm just using this little shelter here to sleep through the night. I'm not sure if stuff like gray dwarves can spawn in the dark before you've killed Eikthyr, but I'm not trying to risk it. I'm running around here in the open meadows for quite a while because it's pretty easy to do without getting lost. The edge of the forest is kind of helpful to use as a measure for where you're at, similar to the beach of a body of water. So I'm kind of just running around here looking for deer to kill, trying to get some deer trophies. I run into a meadows crypt here, which is pretty interesting. It's pretty close to a black forest, but like the crypt itself is pretty clearly spawned in the meadows, which is something I don't see very often, and I think is interesting. I caught a glimpse of a deer in the distance just before the fog covered it up, and then just nailed it with a blind shot. That was fun. And here we're getting our first raid, which is easy Eikthyr one. I think it's just boar and necks that come, and I got a skeleton here to help me kill him. It's not going to be that bad, but skeleton taking a surprising amount of damage from the necks. But yeah, this is going to be obviously a bigger issue later into the game. But right now, it's just leather scraps and boar meat. Alright, I finally got enough deer trophies to summon Eikthyr. And I'm going to use my bow because bow skills are incredible. And it does a crap ton of damage to Eikthyr. He still does a surprisingly low amount of damage, even if he does hit me. And I do a surprising amount of damage with the bow. But yeah, this fight doesn't take too long. And there we go. So now I can make a pickaxe and get the Eikthyr buff, which will be helpful for running away from things. Here I'm harvesting all the wood from this structure and heading out to go back to the starting Stonehenge area to get the Eikthyr buff and try to find some water and get some flint. There we go, Eikthyr buff. That I'm sure is going to be used for a while, as I don't know how quickly I'm going to get to bone mass. So I'm making a pathway out to try to find some water, and I'm really struggling. I need to get to some water, obviously, to get flint, and I find this like river cutting through the area, and so there's ocean at either end. But I'm trying to advance here in a way that I can keep a clear path. So this is kind of annoying. I'm also pretty sure flint doesn't spawn at the bottom of the river in this situation where it's like cutting through the landscape. So I'm trying to figure out the best way to go. And that's probably just going to be running down and following the river till I get to the ocean where I can actually, or just lower land where I can actually start picking up some flint. It's starting to get dark out, so I'm trying to figure out somewhere to sleep. And I see this black forest structure in the meadows. And this looks it's exactly like earlier finding that crypt, just completely surrounded by meadows. So I got this black forest structure that I'm going to hole up in and go to sleep. But also there is a Vegvasir on the side there. So I'm going to hole up here for just a minute and then use this to try to head out in some direction when I want to find the Elder. Second night of sleep. It's pretty easy to convert this into a sleepable area since it's so enclosed. So that's nice. You basically just put a bed in there, clear it out, put a bed in there, and put a roof on it. Cooking up some more food and stuff here. I have way more than I need right now for deer meat and boar meat and stuff, so I should be good on that for a while. I spent some time here trying to look up to get my bearings. For those of you who haven't played No Map, the giant Yggdrasil tree in the sky stays in the same spot. So if you look straight up, you can kind of look at it as a reference point. So you can see I'm on the edge of the branch right between these two green branches. On the edge of the trunk, I guess. So, anyways, you can use that, especially later if you're trying to navigate in a boat or something. It's very clear when you're pretty far away which direction you need to be heading based on that. I have a tanning rack down now, in addition to the little flint chopping blocks upgrade. So I got a level 3 workbench to start off with, which is nice. If nothing else, like upgrading the stone axe is nice. The flint weapons, the club, all that kind of stuff. So that's a nice addition. Make everything a little bit stronger from all the boar I've been killing. I'm trying to find flint, and there's not a lot over on my side, especially where it's going to be heading into Black Forest. So I swim across this little channel, and there is a lot of flint over here. So that's easy pickings. This is also a surprisingly large, residential area. There's a lot of randomly generated buildings around here. There's a signpost. There's even some log piles that are generated that I had never seen before. And I find it very interesting. They drop like 16 wood when you break them up. So that's pretty nice. Finally heading back to my base with all this flint. And I'm going to store a bunch of stuff so that I can make a jaunt over into the Black Forest here and hopefully get some cores and maybe some troll hide. And first time into the Black Forest, I got my crude bow. That's about it. I'm looking around for a while trying to find some crypts or something. And there's surprisingly few of them around, so I'm just picking up some blueberries, picking up some carrot seeds, and looking for some crypts. There's a 2-star skeleton running after me, which is not the best thing. A little scary. I see a troll over here, and it is a 1-star troll. So I can get a couple pieces of troll hide if I take this guy out. I'm going to first lead him back through some of these skeletons because there were a bunch. I did find several crypts now in this area as I'm running around. So I'm pulling him back to try to help take out these skeletons before I kill him. The troll, for some reason, is nice enough to just stand here and let me shoot him. I head into my first crypt here for all of about 20 seconds until I decide to head back out and to go make some troll hide armor before I venture into here further. I know it's not going to help a ton, but it will. It'll give me, what, another 12 damage reduction? So I do decide to head back and make some armor before heading in. After that long run back, I finally can come upgrade my club with some of those bones and make some troll armor and store all the random crap I just got on that trip. A bit of time spent just running around here collecting some wood and getting some arrows. So I got some wood arrows, got some fire arrows. So after all that, I think, hey, why don't I go ahead into the Black Forest now that I'm all geared up, and realize it's getting dark out, so I decide to head back. This is going to be a lot of cautious play here. And after running around for almost 10 minutes, I finally make my way back to a crypt to start getting some surtling cores. Here's surtling core number 1. So I'm trying to clear out the skeletons in this hallway, and I come through and I see there's nothing here. I assume the guy got pushed off the world, but no, he just shot me from the wall. So I'm gonna, yeah, there he is. You can see his health bar now. So I head out of there as quick as I can to try to not die. Never seen that bug before. Here's surtling core number 2. Here's surtling core number 3. And then here's a quick number 4. And number 5. I am surprised I found all 5 of them by themselves. Normally I find a room that has like a spawner and a Vegvasier, and you find several in there, but I got 5 without dying, so that's something. So I head back to my base and get a charcoal kiln going. I only have 5 cores, but I'm gonna cook up some charcoal and then tear it down and build up a furnace. This is new for me after doing a run where I can't break down anything. It's nice to just be able to build a furnace and then a smelter. And I'm heading back out to try to get some copper. So this is the closest copper node. It's a ways away, but it's not too bad. There's some skeletons and some gray dwarves that this is attracting, so I'm trying to take them out. The skeleton has a sword, and so he's doing a little bit more damage than I was expecting. And being a little careless, he's doing like 35 damage a hit. Now I deal with this 2-star skeleton shooting at me. And then the skeleton decides to run around here and just shoot at an angle. Oh, jeez. Alright, so that was my first run. If this is something you'd be interested in seeing more, let me know. Like the video, give me a comment. I would like to do this more, and I'm apparently not nearly careful enough doing this, but yeah, I'd like to do this again. I might change it up to where I'm just doing no map, no portal run, because I find that pretty interesting. But I don't know. I would love to do a permadeath run. So we'll see. Let me know what you think, and thanks for watching.